understood. I've always let a girl dictate my feelings, yeah. Too distracted, too wrecked, too numb, so I neglect the things I should protect. I'm ready for what is next. I made mistakes, you made a judgment. Focus on a life with substance. I'm tired of waiting, I know I need to face it. I'm building, I'm zoning, I'll never be complacent. I'm on the way up, I need to be patient. Patient like I've never been. Nothing can hold me, I need to be patient. Patient like
What's going on, guys? Another video log check-in, and today we're going to talk about embracing the suck, because as bodybuilders, that's what we have to do when things get hard and we start withering away. We need to suck it up, keep grinding, and get on with things no matter how hard they get, right? However, things aren't sucking at the moment. I'm feeling damn amazing. My calories are higher than when they started. Training is going amazingly, and I'm feeling fantastic. Looking pretty damn good too. So, no suck just yet. And that's why we're going to talk about embracing the suck, because I think when we design a contest prep diet and we plan things out, we should be focusing on creating a plan that has minimal sucking and only sucks for as long as necessary. And you know, many competitors, once they start the diet to the end of their competitive season, they're sucking. They're embracing that suck, and it's just tough going. And I know this from personal experience when I competed back in 2012 and 2013 with less than ideal approaches, and the whole chipping away at calories pretty much each week, adding in cardio all the time, and just a very rigid and restrictive diet. Things sucked. Whereas this go around, having learned from my previous experiences and working with someone, Alberto, who has a much better understanding of the sport than I did back then, the suck isn't going to be there until the end. So right now it doesn't even feel like I'm prepping, which is a great sign. I'm able to go about my daily life, work, be a father, do all the things that I need to do without having to really struggle a hell of a lot. So in this check-in, I just wanted to put it out there and let you guys know that if your contest prep sucks 7 months out, 6 months out, then you're probably doing things wrong and you weren't in a position to start a contest prep in the first place. And again, this comes back to starting your prep in a healthy place, physically and mentally, that is on as many calories as possible, with a healthy body fat percentage, near the lower end of your settling point, minimal cardio, and some good muscle and training progression as a whole before you get into the prep. Because if you're beat up, there's a lot of diet fatigue, training fatigue, you have an unhealthy relationship with food, you don't get the whole dieting thing, and you haven't successfully dieted before using a flexible approach, and being able to moderate things and just detach yourself emotionally from all of the issues that arise when we do diet, such as the fluctuations in scale weights, not seeing progress, or only being motivated when you see changes on the scale or your physique, then you're going to be in a lot of strife, and it's going to suck. It's going to suck a lot. This sport isn't easy. It is tough, but it only needs to be tough and something that we struggle with for a short duration, and that would be near the end of the prep, when we really start to dig and chip away at those final few grams or kilograms of body fat to bring in them striated glutes. So not much to report. no news is good news. Training's going well. Eating a lot of food. I'm happy. Feel good. A lot of sex drive. Things are all G. We're 7 months out, and I'm looking like I'm probably 7 weeks out for most people. Although I know the standard that I have for myself and where I want to be come September and October when I jump on stage is going to require me to be more than where most people would be on show day. I need to really bring the heat when it comes to the conditioning, and that's my game. That's what I want to do, and that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, there's no suck. There's no embracing no suck. The only thing I am embracing is all the food Coach Nunez is, excuse me, sending my way. I apologize for all the noise in the background, but you know what? I don't have a lot of time. I'll wait for the helicopter to pass. I am embracing all of the food that Coach Nunez is sending my way, and we have a diet break next week, so yeah, it's all good. Things are great. So yeah, I'll skip over to my tracking sheet, run you guys through my nutrition, how the week went on that front, my calories, macros, cardio, all that kind of jazz that you guys will have seen over the previous weeks. But yeah, I'm still losing weight. I'm getting leaner, eating more food. There ain't no sucking over here just yet. We are back with the spreadsheet. So this is an update for the past 2 weeks because I quite literally haven't had time to get to these video logs, but here we are, and it's getting done now, which is always a good thing. So let's review the past 2 weeks. So as we can see here, still hovering around the 80s, which was not an issue at all. But Berto wanted to increase my calories, so we had a bump of 40 grams of carbs and 10 grams of fats this week, bringing my intake to 375 grams of carbs on low days with 60 grams of fat, and on high days up to 510 grams of carbs and 60 grams of fat. So very much welcomed additions to the diet, and again, weight was pretty consistent in the 79s now, which we're seeing a lot more frequently, so good signs that the fat was still coming off despite the increase in calories. And as we know, there's a bit of a delayed effect when we do diet, and fat loss will continue to occur despite that calorie deficit being bridged, which I've spoken about at length over the past few weeks. So yeah, things were trending pretty nicely. No real issues with the diet or training. This was the 2nd week of my current mesocycle, excluding the intro week for that, and things in the gym are going pretty well. And we're going to actually cover my training spreadsheet today because I think that will be useful to you all in seeing how I'm just tracking training, what the objective is, and how we're approaching things on that end. Cardio, always challenging to get in, as you guys can see, but a much more consistent week across the board, hitting a new average low of 79.7 kgs, so getting quite light now. And this week is the final week of my diet before we enter a diet break. And Berto thinks we are going to run that for 12 to 14 days at this stage, so stay tuned for next week's video log. But with the increase in food, we did start to see the weight climbing up a little bit, and I dare say that was just glycogen stores filling out, because I'm definitely looking a little harder and leaner
despite the scale climbing. And this is where the scale becomes a useful proxy for sure, but at the same time, we're worried about how we're looking. The physique is the priority, and we've still got a long time to go. So sustainability is key, and if it means holding back on that fat loss for now, then I definitely think that's a very wise decision, given that there's 8 months of this thing to go. And weight climbed up back to the 80s this week. It's acceptable in 80. Anyone know that song? Anyway, here is the post refeed or high days, and we can see the weight climbed. No surprises there, but all in all, nutrition is coming along really well. As I mentioned, I'm not feeling like I'm in a prep anymore. It's just second nature. So yeah, very much looking forward to the diet break. So is Siobhan. She can't wait to potentially have a meal or two out. We've been hanging for that. We actually had our first meal out for a long time this morning, and I had some hard-boiled eggs on toast, spinach, tomato, mushrooms, vegetables, and I asked for no oil, but I tracked half a tablespoon just in case. And, we made it work. We made it fit in, and I just kept the fats a little more conservative, and as you would expect, because I had to eyeball a few things, I just brought the carbs down marginally here. But that is the diet. Not a lot of surprises there. And let's quickly check out the training log, and here she is. So day 1 is my upper body day, my heaviest day, and those top sets on the incline dumbbell press, moving pretty damn well. I'm hit 2x5 at 48 kgs, which is a PR given this body weight, and I think it's an all-time PB too. So 10 reps in the bank, and we'll take that. Then getting in some volume work, another 2 sets of 8 at 42, feeling pretty cruisy here. All RPEs are pretty consistent. Everything on this session I'm really loving. I'm digging this one, which is a great sign. And the squats are back, feeling good. I really had to hold myself back this week because I was very tempted, given that I was feeling so great, to just load up 170 plus on the bar and hit a couple of top sets there. But I resisted the urge, played conservative, and made sure that the decision was not one that would hinder my progress over the next 2 weeks before we deload. So we'll get to the 170s in time. The effort's there, and we can definitely make up a bit of lost ground in those other movements, such as the single leg press over here and the leg extensions, which is what I did this week. Trap bars are feeling really good. Just a few little grip issues with them, but otherwise everything on that session coming along really, really well. Third day is my hypertrophy or higher volume session, and yeah, really enjoying this one. Push myself a little bit on the wide grip pull down, increasing load and still trying to hit the top end of this range. Felt really, really, really good. So I dare say we might even bump the load up again next week and bring things down to the bottom end of the range. High incline dumbbell presses, these were tough. I was definitely feeling some of the fatigue from the first session, with obviously expecting a little bit slower cadence in the concentric phase, given that we are pausing on these, and the volume and intensity in that first session sort of bites me in the ass here. But all is good. Seated rows, I'm loving the wide grip seated row at the moment. Really feeling that. There's some footage of that on this episode of the video log, so you can see that I'm just really finding my way about this movement and making sure that stimulus is going where it counts. So we'll keep that one in for a while, I dare say. Dips, just adding a rep here. Nothing to really write home about, but given that we are pushing a little more over with the dumbbell press, we have to be patient on those dips. Same with the cable chest fly. Even though I increased the load, that was simply because the week before it was cake, way too easy. So we needed to get something there to make sure that it was doing the work necessary to keep that tissue around. Side raises, arms, bit of bis and tries here. I just pick a movement that I feel like doing. Keeps things interesting for me. And then the high-low face pull, which I'm digging at the moment. And then the final session, this one was tough mentally because I had a big weekend presenting, as you guys have seen, and coaching some physique athletes on the Sunday. So this was a Sunday sesh. And the trap bars, they felt pretty good. Got the straps and the belt out. And I just kept the load the same, but, added some reps there. Got 8, which means next week we bump up load and we'll probably hit some 6s. Hack squats, really, really wanted to push these because, as I mentioned, being a little more conservative on the squat, I know I have to make up some ground somewhere to make sure the wheels don't go on missing. So we went for 3x12, 6 plates, and the good mornings. Good morning to you all. It's probably evening or afternoon, but have a great day wherever you are. And these are fast becoming one of my favorite exercises. 70 kilos, big jump in load, but the RPE, which I haven't noted there because I'm a lazy son of a bitch, was just really low last week. So we need to make sure that we're not just progressing, but that there is some disruption to cause those positive adaptations. And at best, given the diet, at least getting that synthesis back to baseline so that we hold on to that tissue. So lunges, again, pushing those because the squats are down a little for now, and hamstring curls, adding a rep. So, guys, that is the week in closing. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the video log. Make sure you like the video because these are getting harder and harder to do. So I appreciate all your support, and I will speak to you all next time. That diet brain is kicking in. Take care. See you next time.